Hi, I'm Axel Fashion, and thank you for coming to my channel. This is the first video in a short series on my Anne Curry project. This video is going to show my process on how I went about making my undergarments, specifically the petticoat for this ensemble. By no means should this be taken as a tutorial. It should not be taken as a teaching instrument. I'm simply showing the process of what I went through to make this petticoat. A little bit of background information before we really get started. This project is for my school, Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, LIPA, as I'll refer to it the rest of the videos. And I decided to go with this particular design from Anne Curry. Unfortunately, I don't have actual pictures of the real costume. They aren't surfacing around anytime soon, but this is the original design that Anne Curry had done for it. It is a black and purple striped gown, and there are multiple pieces that go to this. So there's a corset, a bustle, a petticoat, an overskirt, an apron with a train, and the bodice, or the jacket. Like I said, this is just going to be a process of the petticoat. There will be other videos later on in this series of how I went about making the skirt and how I went about making the jacket. So this first clip is how I went about doing the ruffles, so enjoy. Alright, so I got all the ruffles sewn on. There is a huge gap at the front. This isn't in the right position. I just stretched it essentially over and pinned it on the form. But depending on where this actual seam lies, it will be slightly gathered in the back, so there will be some gathering from the petticoat at the top, but I am debating on if I should do one more tier, because right here is where two of the bustle bones show. Now, you don't really see it when the skirt is over there, but for any other style of skirt that is a lighter weight fabric than a taffeta, it would show through, so I'm debating if I should do one more ruffle and have it, be right up here and just have it be a little bit longer, because these are all about, from top to bottom, they were 9 inches, and then there's a hem that's about a half an inch, so they're about 8.5 inches long, so they overlap quite nicely on each one. So I'm not even showing you that. So that's what the back of the petticoat looks like. After I got all the ruffles sewn on, I went on to the front of the skirt. As you'll see in the next clip, I decided to change a few things in my original plan. It was supposed to be a button-up petticoat from the bottom all the way to the top, but seeing as that this was a theater costume and not a practical garment, I decided to sew up the bottom about 4 or 5 inches. Sorry, I don't know centimeters. I know inches. But yeah, so I decided to sew the bottom part up just to take out a little bit of work. You'll see that I kind of messed up in a way, but not really, because no one's going to see it anyway. You'll see it in the clip. Just roll the footage. Okay, we're back. I didn't film anything to do with the front placket and button closure, only because it was just really simple. It's just cutting rectangles of cutting rectangles of fabric out and just lining them up with the seams. So this is what the front looks like. I did change my mind on how the bottom was going to close up. I know I said I wanted to keep it open all the way down. However, Seeing as what I'm going to do with the ruffle now, or the box pleated bit at the bottom, I'm going to make it this deep. So I ended up taking out this bottom button. There is still the buttonhole that I made. There's nothing I can do. I already cut it open. But you're never going to see this anyway, so it won't really matter. So I decided to sew it up on this side. All this is going to be covered, so you're not going to see it. I'm going to do a box pleated ruffle from this seam to this seam. So it's just going to be on the front, because on the back, again, the bottom ruffle is there. It wouldn't make sense for me to add another box pleated ruffle because it's mostly going to be hidden under this ruffle here. That's actually not true. There is another ruffle that has to go on. I didn't realize this until after the fitting, so that'll be put on after all of this is done. That's been gathered on to the back of the petticoat, so it just wouldn't make sense. So it's just going to be along the front, just so the front of the skirt will sit nice and flat and not cave in at the bottom. And like I said, the back is not going to be that big of a deal. One, because it's the back and no one sees it. Two, there's a huge train that's going on top of the fashion fabric, so nothing's really going to be noticeable at the hemline anyway, because the bustle is going to be holding everything out. I lost the footage for that clip with the skirt on, so enjoy this, the jacket pattern pieces laid out on my big table back at campus. After I got all of that done, I went to put it all together, and I finally was able to see it all on the form. I would show you footage of it, but it kind of got messed up, so I'll show pictures instead. So here it is finished. The waistband does need to be fixed, like I said. That has already been accounted for, so it closes properly now, as well as the extra box pleat in front and ruffle in back. That has also been added on. Here it is on the actor that I have from the front and the side view. It looks very nice on her, especially with the bustle. And these next two photos, you'll see the extra added length of the box pleat in front, as well as the ruffle from the side view, and that does give just the perfect length for when the skirt goes over top of everything. So in the next video that I will be uploading, it will go over the construction process of the skirt, the ruffles that go on the skirt, and a little bit on the finishing on the top ruffle. I don't have any footage of me making it because by that time I was already back in our costume shop, and I kind of didn't want to film any of the sewing process. So there's plenty of pictures, and you'll be seeing those, but not a lot after the... Well, there won't be a lot of sewing footage whilst I'm in campus and at the actual costume shop, mostly because there's really nowhere for me to put a camera or put my phone, which is what I'm recording on now. That's just going to be something that you're just going to have to see pictures rather than actual footage of me sewing it or ironing it or doing other things. But pictures nonetheless will be shown. Thanks for sticking through to this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down in the comment section below. If this was at all entertaining, which it probably wasn't, let's be honest, but hey, somebody might have found this very entertaining to see a grown man in drag explain his process for making a Victorian style costume based off of a design from a designer. So if you did like it, please like. It will help with the algorithm, although I'm not planning on doing this as an actual job, but you know, weirder things have happened in my life. Subscribe if that interests you. Turn on the bell notification if you want to stick up with this short series. It's probably going to be a 3 or 4 part series, mostly because I'm just doing the petticoat, the skirt, and the bodice, and maybe a wrap up of everything together. So like, subscribe, leave a comment. Please leave a comment, even if it's just I like this is interesting, or you have nice makeup, or your hair looks weird, or why do you do this for a living? Anything, just anything. I'll respond to it. This is my one and only video that'll be up probably for a reasonable amount of time. So anything helps. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.